Hi friends, welcome to my channel on a very overcast day. I'm sincerely hoping there's not going to be too many shadows, which will be distracting. Anyway, this is the next video on my Decan walk. We're talking about the Four of Wands. Now, just as a little aside, if you like, I made this chart a while ago and it's thrown up some interesting things when I've looked at it sort of this way. So I've colour coded it, as you can see. So the Two of Wands starts here, and then we go Pentacles, Swords, Cups, so I can see at a glance where I am. Then when you look at the planets, they actually form a sequence of Tower, Sun, Empress, Magician, High Priestess, World, and Wheel of Fortune, and then it repeats. So it repeats all the way down, which I didn't realise until I did this chart. And then also, I've pointed this out before in another video, the fact that each of these majors also goes for the three decans. It's the same as zodiacal major. So that's interesting. So I thought I'd just show you that. I've also assigned the planets to their corresponding cards. I thought that was interesting. So yeah, it might be something worth thinking about doing for yourself if you want to see some way of it making sense, really. Because when I first started doing this back in November, it felt really confusing, really confusing. But I found that over time I started to see a pattern, and I just thought I'd share that pattern with you. Anyway, so Four of Wands, the Lord of Completion, and now we're talking about the Emperor and the Empress in the majors. And how nice is that we have the Emperor and the Empress facing each other in the Thoth? Isn't that nice? And the wheel going round. Now, the Empress and the Emperor is Venus, and you can see the Venus sign there, and Mars. Now Mars is also attributed to the Tower. So it's a very forceful energy. And Venus and Mars together, well, apparently in astrology they're on opposite sides. They're 180 degrees apart, which is the furthest you can get from each other. So it seems astrologically they are quite weak when they're in each other's astrology. I was thinking about this, and also there's a book, isn't there, called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, so something like that. It's by an author called John Gray, and it sets out explaining why we get problems within relationships, because the Emperor and the Empress sort of denotes a relationship, doesn't it? One would think. So you can see here like very red fiery energy for Mars, and then we've got a gentler, looks like Aphrodite, doesn't it? Is it Aphrodite? Venus goddess anyway, who's got a much more gentler energy, and we can see this here as well. I mean, our Emperor is quite rigid, so rigid he's got armour on and very protective of himself, whereas our Empress is very flowy, very loose clothing, very comfortable in her comfortable seat with her bolster and cushion and blankets. They're totally in her element. And their elements are completely different. Again, here in the Thoth, we've got a very red energy for Mars, the Emperor, and then a nice green Venus energy in the Empress. Beautiful. And when these two come together, you can see it sort of echoes that astrological opposites. So the dove for the Empress and the ram for Aries on opposite sides of the wheel. So I'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, going back to that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by John Gray. It's talking about relationship problems and why they might occur, and why misunderstandings might happen between the two sexes. Saying that men are solution focused, they like to know solutions to problems, whereas women, not so much. They like to talk things through and process them by talking them through. They want to be heard, whereas like the Emperor listens to the Empress and then tries to solve the problem. And, you know, maybe she doesn't always want a solution to the problem, she just wants an ear. So we've got sort of Venus in her garden, and she's enjoying all the beauty in the garden. And maybe the Emperor's saying, well, what about the weeds? Who's going to do the weeding? So, you know, she likes to relax, and she actually can be a little bit lazy, whereas the Emperor is very driven, very action orientated. And you can see he can get up at the drop of a hat. He's up and ready. So there she is, relaxing, which is sort of an opposite type of energy again. So these cards here are from the Black Moon Astrology deck by Susan Shepherd, and this is the guidebook. Very good guidebook. So I think we can see here the Emperor and the Empress in this Rider-Waite-Smith version. The Emperor is all about structures, and we've got a structure in the background here, and we've got a bridge as a structure. And we've got the Empress's flowers and garlands and decorations. And if you think about a bridge goes across water, so maybe the water is the emotional aspect of the Empress, and the bridge is the structure part of the Emperor. That's what I'm seeing anyway. And 4, of course, is a very stable number, so we're at a stable place within the journey. And we have a 4 with the Emperor as well, so there's 2 4s, so there's a lot of structure there for the Empress to be enclosed in. And maybe she's a little bit wary of being hemmed in. So I was looking a little bit at the Darkwood Tarot by Sasha Graham, which is this one here. Love this deck. I did a deck study with this. Oh, it was brilliant. So amazing. Anyway, back to the cards. So we have our Empress, and she's actually pregnant in this card, and the Emperor as the ram climbing the mountain. It's a very forceful energy with the ram there, and very gentle energy there with the Empress. And the 4 of Wands itself also shows the bridge. But look at what's underneath the bridge. It's a troll. And we've got some scary things going on in the tree as well. So there's danger there. There's danger lurking underneath that bridge. Even though we're in a happy, complete place, is it? Food for thought. And I think that sort of backs up the differences between Venus and Mars as well. This image on the Thoth reminded me of the Wheel of the Year and the 8 Sabbats, and all of those are celebrations on the Wheel of the Year. And there's a fire underneath that's driving that wheel around. That's the energy behind it. And so at the moment we're in spring. Very nice season it is too. Really like it. But that really reminded me of the Wheel of the Year. And as I said, it's all about celebrations. And this is clearly a celebration of some sort. And we have people joining in the background. So I like that. I sort of see that correlation there. The other thing about these cards as well, we needed the effort of Aries, of the Emperor, to achieve this, because it doesn't just come together. Like I said, the Empress can be quite lazy, and so this isn't going to happen. These garlands aren't going to tie themselves to the branches, are they? They're going to need some help. And so the Emperor can organise that. The Emperor is very good at organising things, and so he wants to maybe please his Empress, and so organises for this celebration to be beautiful, because the Empress appreciates beauty. And if the Emperor wants to get together with the Empress, then this is a way that he can impress her. And he is definitely focused on her, and she is definitely focused on him. So something at this moment in time is going well. And this time of year as well in nature, yes, they're all getting together and they're making quite a bit of noise about it, especially the birds. So on the Tree of Life also, I thought this is a nice way of understanding this card as well. It's Hesed, and that is the 4th Sephiroth on the Pillar of Mercy. And it's assigned to Jupiter. And Jupiter, apparently, is the planet of expansion. And so these two are expanding their outlook. They're leaving their comfort zone, being opposites on the astrological wheel. Oh yeah, astrological wheel, I've just realised. But they're expanding away from their own sign and experiencing something they wouldn't if they'd stayed in their comfortable places. So they're expanding their outlooks. And we can see the Emperor's energy as well on this card because of the yellow solar energy around the wheel. So I've talked about the castle and it being a secure environment which would be provided by the Emperor, and the bridge being safe, a safe way of crossing water, of crossing our emotions, and then the Wheel of Life. And just going back to that for a minute, it does show that life is ever changing. You know, the only constant thing in life is change. That's the only thing we can be sure of, is that life changes from one year to the next, from one season to the next. And we don't always have control over that. So maybe the Emperor has to relinquish some control. And the Empress is just saying, flow with it, let's just go with it. See what happens. And we'll deal with it when it does happen. Whereas the Emperor is going, no, I want to know what I want to know. I need to know. I want to control this situation. And obviously he cannot control the situation because life cannot really be controlled. So there's 2 decks that I think really shows the Empress's influence on the Emperor in trying to get him to loosen up a bit. The first one is from this Cheimonette Tarot. So this is the corresponding card in the Cheimonette Tarot. I hope I'm saying that right, Cheimonette. And it says that here strength is shown as a dancer, because it does take a lot of strength to be a dancer rather than a fighter. And so, you know, the Emperor is aggressive by nature, but here the strength comes from inner belief, you know, strength in knowing one's abilities and one's value in the wider world, as it says in the guidebook. And this is sort of echoed in the other deck I wanted to show, which is this one, the Cirque du Tarot. I haven't really played much with this deck. I've had it a long time actually, but not, you know, since it came out, because I do like Lisa Robertson's work. And so, yeah, one I'm getting around to. And I'm going to show you the image from the guidebook because I haven't even opened the deck. I'm going to be absolutely honest, it's still in its cellophane. But I haven't needed to because the images are all in the book and they're really big images. So with the 4 of Wands, here we have the Emperor and the Empress dancing on a high wire. So they're in total trust, the pair of them, even though they're not overly comfortable in each other's worlds, astrologically speaking. We have here the fire of the Emperor. It's even a Viking boat, which is on fire, and so it sort of denotes the death of a Viking, doesn't it? So it doesn't really reference that in the guidebook. But here they are, playing with fire, as it were. And we can even see, look, shapes in the fire. Isn't that interesting? The way the smoke has made an animal there. beautiful. And there's one there. So it says, there is something intimate, balanced and secure about our scene. Even though our performers are above the stage floor, they still feel fully supported and safe, as if in their small world all is as it should be. The smoke on either side of them looks like guardians or even protectors. This only adds to the strong yet gentle energy of the Four of Wands. This moment here, right now, is one you can draw comfort from. It's here to make you feel safe, understood and courageous. So we have the Empress who wants to be understood and the Emperor who's courageous. So this card lets you know you're not alone, that someone somewhere has your back. Enjoy your moment, relax into it just as our performers have, and let your little world feel happy and complete. So yeah, the Empress is encouraging the Emperor to flow with life. And the Emperor provides the structure to be able to do that. When we look at this deck, Dancing in the Dark Tarot, it's a beautiful deck, this one. Another Olo Scarabeo one, not very expensive. Here there's the Emperor and the Empress, and I love these images because it looks to me like the Empress is making her way to the Emperor, and the Emperor is ready to receive her. Isn't that beautiful? She's striding confidently towards him, and his interest is piqued. There's something going to go on there. Okay. And then in the 4 is the dance. And we have a wreath around them, a victory wreath, that again reminds me of the Emperor. So that's Dancing in the Dark Tarot. And then this idea of dancing that we saw in the Cheimonette here, I also found in the Cosmic Tarot, this one here. And here we have our figure dancing within a spiral. And I think again that shows the strength of the Emperor to have a pose like that, really. We have the Empress here, I think, with the bird. The Emperor with the structures, and here we have a spiral structure, which is a very stable structure, holding our figure here dancing on one leg. So that's the beauty of the Empress in dance and the structure of the Emperor in that 4 of Wands. And I absolutely love the imagery in the Dreamkeepers Tarot for this card. Well, for most of the cards actually in the Dreamkeepers, because we see it in nature now. We see these two tree figures attracted to one another as the Emperor and the Empress. Isn't that beautiful? If we actually look at the Emperor and I've shown the Emperor before in a previous video. If we see the Emperor and the Empress, we can see the absolute beauty of the Empress there. Absolutely gorgeous. And there's the solidity and structure we can find in the Emperor and the red energy. And when they come together, it's just so natural. So attracted to each other in a very natural way. And then I took a look at the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. I've had this one a long time as well. I haven't really worked with it. But I'm interested in the way that the chakras are assigned to the tarot. And I think maybe next year, when I restart my year, which will be again November, I'm going to look at the cards a little bit differently. And one of those ways will be with the chakra system. Anyway, just a little preview. The Empress here has a very, very green energy, as you would expect for Venus, because that's the colour assigned to Venus. And interestingly enough, when we come to the 4 of Wands, we have the same green. Isn't it beautiful? But here this figure is not with the Emperor. and the Emperor is blue. So blue would be the throat chakra and communication, and green would be the heart chakra. And then the other interesting thing about this that I noticed was these here, I don't know what you call them, are they like staffs? They are the wands, supposed to represent the wands, but look what the king has on his lap. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So as usual, I will end the video with the Crystal Magic Tarot, which is this one, Kerry Ward and Claire Gregory. And the crystals that are assigned to our cards for the Empress, it's Chrysocolla. There's some Chrysocolla. Oh, we're not going to focus. Maybe put it on there. Will it focus? There we go. Yes, Chrysocolla. Isn't that gorgeous? The other side. Oh, slippy sliding. There we are. That's the Chrysocolla. For the Emperor, we have Lapis Lazuli. See if that one will. Oh, these cards are a bit slippy. It's difficult to balance them. But yeah, there we go. Lapis, come back. That's Lapis Lazuli, the Emperor. And then for the Four of Wands, Dendritic Agate. Well, I got some tree agate, which is pretty much the same thing. And I thought that looked a little bit like a bonsai tree. If you can actually see what I mean. It's very tiny. It looks like a little tree, doesn't it? And I think that's quite apt really, because for this to be stable, you know, 4 ones are a stable number, stable table I always think, 4 legs on a table. But I thought that's really apt actually, because a tree is stable. In the majority of cases the roots are really, really deep. And of course it's reaching up to the sky. So the Empress is reaching out for beauty, whereas the Emperor has the stability of the roots. So I think that goes really well. I like that. And this is the image for the card. So yes, we have a celebration again. Beautiful. All having a lovely time. So this card does talk about celebrations, weddings, get-togethers, welcoming somebody home when they've been away for a while, birthdays, all sorts of celebrations. And as I said, that really goes with the Wheel of the Year for me, and the 8 Sabbats, which are all celebrations. Shall we have a look what the guidebook says for the Four of Wands and Dendritic Agate? Let's have a look. Four of Wands. A stone of plenitude, Dendritic Agate brings abundance and an attitude of gratitude. If you're celebrating your success and you want the universe to know that you appreciate every gift you've been given, this beautiful snowy white crystal is an embodiment of that intention. Helping you stay connected to your roots, there we go, roots, and grounded as you grow in whatever path you choose, a Dendritic Agate as your talisman will attract more of the same energy, whilst encouraging you to enjoy your success every step of the way. And the talisman is, I am working hard to improve my prospects. So a little bit of a different take. Oh yes, I think that's a perfect stone for the Emperor and the Empress energy combined together. Anyway, that's what I've been discovering in my look at the Four of Wands over the past 10 days, and I hope it helped you with your investigations into this card as well, or bring some insight or enlightenment to it. And this is my disclaimer again. This is from my research, from my thoughts, and so it's my way of looking at the card, which might absolutely be different to yours. Okay, so thank you for watching, and yeah, maybe see you in the next video. Bye. Bye friends, bye.